What's up, everybody? It's Gabe checking in here this evening with some charts. I want to go over some of the broad market setups and look at some individual stocks in the small cap sector that are setting up pretty nicely, and they could set up a little bit better, ideally over the next few days with some sideways movement, some contraction. But, without further ado, let's jump into the charts. Guys, and take a look here at SPY. When you really take a look here at SPY over the last 2 days, we had that massive gap up. I'm not massive, nothing in the way of what we had back here. This sort of gap up right here. But we gapped up a solid, from 600 to 605, we gapped up 5 points. It was strong. That move from 595 there to 610 almost, that's a strong move. A great move for traders to capitalize on. With that being said, that's not the time to foot on the pedal, slam the buys, and just go crazy with entries here, right? This is now more than ever a time to be kind of patient, because ideally we'd like to see this retrace a little bit. We'd like to see this thing fill that gap back down to 600, kind of drop back down and retest where we came from. That'd be healthy. Same with QQQ. QQQ, today we hit all-time highs. Isn't that crazy? Right? 2 months ago, back in middle of the spring, people were in panic mode, full panic mode, selling their shares, getting rid of their 401ks, right? Selling out because of extreme panic with tariffs. And now, look at this. Middle of summer, we're at all-time highs in SPY and QQQ. Just absolutely fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. QQQ, on the other hand, a little bit stronger move. We went from 527 to 545. So we had a stronger move in the broad tech sector. But today's candle was sort of a little doji, and all by itself, sort of doji candle. Volume wasn't impressive or anything, but just something to keep an eye on. We'd like to see these things pull back. Now, into the individual setups here. Start with SMCI. Super microcomputer, big move today. Very strong candle today. Something in the way of 6-7% for SMCI. That's a strong move. That's a strong candle, okay? Had that really nasty candle 2 days ago on Monday. This is the one I'm talking about. This candle right here, that was a nasty one. We had that beautiful structure, that formation, we were very compact and contracted, working up to that $45 range. And then we just had a nasty washout that recovered very, very well. To be honest, it head faked me. It didn't allow me to get a position. I didn't buy that dip, and I certainly didn't buy in today into the strength. So it's sort of an interesting position now where I could see this thing taking off, breaking up over 50, breaking into the 50s. It's just got that kind of look for a chart. But again, you guys know that's not how I trade. If it goes without me, it goes without me, and there's more opportunities out there. I would love to see some digestion within this candle right here. And here's kind of what I'm talking about. These are tough to draw with, but I'd love to see this thing kind of digest, move kind of, let's see if I can use it. Cursor. Not so much. I'd love to see this thing digest and move sideways for a few days. Under that 46, into that 42 range, have a little bit of chop, have a little bit of sideways movement. And this chart looks really good. Looks really good. It's going to be really tough to draw on the iPad. But you know what I mean. I want to see this thing move sideways. I want to see it contract, maybe slightly pull back, and then start to stair step its way back up, just like it did here in early June. That movement in early June is absolutely beautiful. You know, this type of thing right here. If we can get some more of this, that stair step, that tight contraction, that tight movement, that's what we want to see in SMCI, okay? On to the next. So we're looking at NNE here. NNE, right? Nanonuclear. The volume in this chart is very impressive. I love the contraction here. I love the way it's got this strong formation shaping up to all-time highs. It's very compact price action, supported by good volume. And we've just got this beautiful shaping up action going on here. You know, that's just textbook on what we want to see approaching all-time highs. Volume is good. Obviously, we're going to need volume like we got, you know, back here in order to see a breakthrough, in order to see us push all-time highs and explode past them. We're going to need volume like we got back in early 2025. But keep an eye on NNE, right? We've got good-looking contraction here on the chart. We've got a formation shaping up. Beautiful candles here. The dips are clearly being bought by buyers, right? But again, we'd love to see this thing just kind of chop right here. Oh, I figured it out. How to draw. Let's go. This is what I want to see out of NNE. Similar to SMCI, guys. If we start to get one of these right here, and then boom, we form another little formation, kind of work our way back up, NNE becomes very, very nice play. A very interesting watch here. If we can start to kind of shape up there, form a little more tight formation, and then before we go for it, you know, that's what we want to see out of NNE. Keep an eye on that volume. Look for some sideways movement. It looks like that, you know, that EMA, that 20 EMA, has been a hot spot for buyers. People are just putting their buys in here on this green line. I mean, as you can see, bought here, you know, bought here. Will it happen again? We'll have to see. Test it again. That's what we want to see, right? We'll be patient with it. We'll wait for it to set up for us, and we'll get a good entry before this thing takes off. Looks really good. NNE looks really good. SLDP, okay? I highlighted this one in the Discord chat today. We went over the, well, we broke it down, you know? We broke it down. We looked at this formation taking place right here, guys. This ascending triangle is the way we explained it this morning. Just a beautiful shape forming here. It's constructive. It's got good volume. The candles, the individual candles, don't have a lot of wicks, which means that there's clear movement in this, right? There's clear buying and selling taking place. There's not a whole lot of indecision. So when you see those wicks, it just signals indecision in the stock. And today we got a wick, right? We had a aggressive buying this morning, got up to that $2 range and kind of faded back throughout the day. Me personally, you know, that's something I like to see because it gives people like myself another chance to get in. People that might have missed out on the initial move, a chance to get in. So SLDP, you know, we like this formation. We like the way it's shaping up. We like the volume. That's great. Here's the other reason SLDP makes the watch list for me, and I've been keying on it the most. I zoom this chart out from 1 year to 2 year, and I start to see that SLDP has not broken this level in a while. the 250 level, it's a long-term resistance. Really, we'll lower it a little bit. The 230 level, we tested it almost 2 years ago, back in early 2024. That might have been late 2023 that we tested it once. Clear back here. And then we tested it again right here, middle of 2024. And then the last test, of course, beginning of the year, 2025. It's been 2 years, over 2 years since we broke this level, which means it's a key level. It's something we have to put emphasis on. This level has held strong for 2+ years. So we're forming this nice base to test it this time. We're doing it with good volume, impressive volume, and we've got this nice little cup, this kind of trough formation forming, if you will, right? Which for people that know technicals, for people that have seen these types of charts before, they know the type of significance that they come with, right? The breakout potential that comes with these trough formations, these cup and handles. We've got the cup, clearly. We've got the matching volume on both sides of the cup. Clearly, lots of volume here. Volume pretty much to match it here. We'll need a day kind of like that, that 50 million day that we had, that huge green bar sticking up there. We'll need a day similar to that to really break this level, and to do something with it. But we've got good volume. We've got this cup formation. Now, let's just see some sideways movement. Just like I talked about with NNE. Let's see this thing pull back here, test $1.60. That would be just beautiful. It would be beautiful to see this thing test $1.60, and then boom here, and then maybe kind of retrace again, and then start to form up, then start to kind of shape its way up, put in some higher lows, before we really go for this thing. That's what we want to see out of SLDP. Right now, the setup is probably a B minus. There's still some guesswork going in here. It'd still be a little bit of a reach to put your position in right now. But if we get something like I just drew up in SLDP, this moves to an A type of setup. A type of setup that you can get a good position in and be pretty, foot on the gas type of deal with it. For me, it's just not there yet. I will probably dip my toes in this, get some skin in the game, especially if we dip tomorrow towards $1.80, $1.75. Buyers seem really aggressive in this market right now for the time being. And I can see this green line holding up with some support as well. That EMA 20 right there. But guys, I'm not going with a full position unless we see that retracement into the $1.50, $1.60 range. Keep an eye on SLDP. It's got a good look. It's got a long-term resistance point, and it's got good volume. And then the last chart here is AISP, Airship AI. I like the way this one's shaping up here. I like the way we've broken out of this contraction phase. We broke out of this sort of bull flag, if you will, that strong contraction, and we did it on really good volume. The volume the last 3 days has been exceptional. Exceptional, as you can see here. Great volume breaking out of that pattern. That's textbook. The last 3 days have been kind of wide range. Some wicks in there. But again, if I move these lines up here, I can move my blue lines up here. I want to see the same thing again with AISP. I want to see this thing go sideways a little bit, stay between these blue lines, and keep a tight formation. Just like that. And then we start to inch our way up towards that $6 level, and we've got a pretty big breakout potential here on AISP. Again, it fits the theme, AI, quantum computing. These have been really the type of names that you want to be in, the type of names that the market's had interest in lately, and AISP fits that criteria. Keep an eye on this one. I think it's a little early. I think it still needs a little bit more chart data, and it definitely needs more volume. The volume is a little lackluster, a little less than impressive. We need something like we got back here in the way of volume. But that's pretty much it, guys. These are what I have on watch. These are where my positions will start to get, a little bit more in depth. I'll start to kind of put the foot on the gas a little bit more. But we're staying patient. We're keeping an eye on the broad market. And, let's go from there. Let's live to fight another day, right? Every day in the market, there's people out there that have to give up trading. They have to stop their career, right? Because they're not able to manage their money and they lose it, right? So keep your risk management in check. You always realize that there's more opportunities out there. You miss a trade today. Maybe you made $1,000 today. Maybe you lost $1,000 today. Maybe you didn't place a trade today. Doesn't matter. Tomorrow is a completely clean slate. It's a new day, and it's a new opportunity to trade smarter and make money. So that's it, guys. Have a great night, and let's get ready for tomorrow.